Yay. Hello, Kelsey. I'm so excited to just chat with you because we always have the best conversations, but also to just share your unique perspective, your wisdom, um, your ways of seeing the world and experiencing the world, and just what you have to offer. Because and I'll let you, since we were just talking about how we define ourselves in the social spaces, um, what I can say about you is being, just having seen the evolutions of you, but knowing you as a friend, as a dear friend, is that you are someone who really honors herself. And you're someone who lives very authentically and very true to what brings you joy and what is most aligned. And a lot of the work that you do, I would say the majority of the work that you do, is help people strip away these programs or conditions or mindsets or ideas of who they have to be, and help them really align with their own divine blueprint for success, because we all have a unique one. And I think you're someone who lives that, like embodies that in such a beautiful way. You really, if something isn't for you, you're like, yeah, that's not for me. You go at your own beat, and you follow that, and you trust that, and that's always been inspiring to me, and has always given me permission to do the same in my life. So just thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
On this interview, chat / my life / the world.
Oh, I love you so much. Thank you so much for those words. And you make it sound, I don't know, like prettier than it feels.
Yeah, because it's not whenever we're living intuitively, it's not it's a lot of times unclear until we get to a certain place with it, and we're like, oh, that's why I live that way.
Yeah. And it's like super scary to follow the intuition, especially when everyone around you is disagreeing. Yeah. And so you're like, no, it's not for me. Yeah. And then like, days or weeks or months later, you're like, yeah, I knew it. It wasn't for me. Like, yay, past me. You did a great job.
Well, and how do you, I feel like, especially with everything that's going on in the world, well, first off, I was going to introduce you as, well, friend, amazing human, light worker. Also, you're an incredible coach, and you're a human design expert. You really are.
These things work.
Yeah, and you have an amazing podcast, which I'll make sure is in the links below. Find Your Awesome, which again speaks to what you help people do, and give them the permission to truly follow the things that make them feel alive and the truest expression of themselves.
Yeah, I should just hire you for a spokesperson. You're doing a great job.
I could do it for everyone else. If people ask me, what do you do? I'm like, yeah.
Wait, really? All right, so let me try and do it for you. You are the epitome of flow and the divine feminine. You, the way you honor your flow through life is so, I'm looking for a better word than beautiful, but I can't find one. So it's just so beautiful, so inspiring, so like musical.
Ooh, and I like that.
Yeah, it's, you're like a whole nother species, which of course you are as a projector. You are super, super intuitive, amazing, obviously, at shining the light on other people. You are pure love and light. That's actually what I just said to somebody else who had never heard of Meg Haines. And I said, oh, she's love and light.
Thanks, Kelsey.
You're welcome.
See, you're not a projector, but I think that you are so gifted at like really seeing.
That's my penetrating energy. Thank you.
Yeah.
It scares some people.
I love it because you're just like, so I'm like, yeah, wow. That's me. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So in this kind of like landscape that we're in, we had 2020, which was so fascinating because, of course, when we're in a time of great change, that also means things dissolving, things falling away. It means loss. There's a lot of pain and emotion that we can be moving through when we're in a time of change. But I always see things like this as and 2020 to me was like the shift into getting back into alignment. And because everyone talks about like, I just want to return to normal. I'm like, if you really think about it, the way we were living was not normal. It was not normal to our bodies. It was not normal and authentic to our soul. It was a prison. It was a trap. And we're really moving away from that. And I know that in human design, they talk about the 2027 mutation, which I'm like, we're very much in the shift of that. So I would just love to hear your perspective on all that's going on.
Yeah. So I love first of all, I want to say we talked about this on my podcast in 2020, like early on in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we were really wise and really intuitive.
We'll add that.
Yeah.
Show notes.
Yeah. We did a really good job. Yeah. We put our genius freakiness into good use, being able to like see the future and come from the future and share wisdom from the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, in 2027, human design says we evolve into the new paradigm.
Okay.
And it's not like on New Year's Day, 2027, boom, everything shifts. We are moving towards it right now, which I don't know if you are feeling it, but things are moving fast.
Oh, so fast.
All in 2021, it's so fast. Like the manifestations are just like, it's so fast.
Yeah.
Things flow through. There's like the pain, the loss, even that is fast.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and now I'm through that. I'm on the other side. Cool.
Definitely.
It's like our Earth School classes used to take weeks, months, years. Now they're days.
Yep.
They're intense, obviously, because it's like taking a 3-day antibiotic versus taking a 10-day antibiotic. It'll clean you out.
Yep. Best way to put it.
It's funny seeing like, wow, so that we're at 2021. What is 2027 going to be like?
I know. Well, and I think that, I mean, and I'd love to hear what your intuition says about it. But I really feel like we've been living within structures and systems and organizations and ways of being that serve an elite few and not the collective. That is disruptive to the planet. Like we're just like everything we're doing to the planet, we're doing to ourselves. Everything we're doing to each other, we're doing to ourselves. And for me, it feels like a coming home to a more natural, organic way of living. Like my husband and I often have conversations about how we just want to have a farm and live off the grid and just return to a simpler life. And one of the things that you've done actually, which I would love to know how that experience has been for you. Now I'm going, but we'll just flow.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I know you're with me. But you got off social media. Mm-hmm. And you're an entrepreneur and you run a very successful business. So, and I definitely do that dance of, wanting to be in the space and to share and to teach and to serve, but also really feeling like on an energetic level, it's not aligned. And so sometimes I can go into that space, it feels really good. And sometimes I go into that space and it feels like force. So for you, what was kind of the shift and how has that been to just kind of remove those platforms from your life?
Okay, so first of all, I've been very slowly reading a biography of Mr. Rogers, and there's a quote from him that deep and simple, that's like the ideal life. And that's you talking about living on a farm off the grid. Oh, we've been talking about that too, just Don't know where it is, but a commune of some sort. And then we get far enough that we're like, oh, are we talking about a cult? We don't want a cult.
No cults. That's part of the old, that's like, you know, again, giving your power and authority away to a person, an organization, an idea. We're moving away from that and being very individualized, well, connected, community oriented, but very intuitively driven.
Yeah.
Our authority.
Where we all own and share our gifts.
Yeah.
And we ask for help. We ask other people for their gifts, and we celebrate them as they share their gifts. But social media. So I've been off for almost a year.
How free?
And it is so, it's like foreign to me that I was even ever on it. And yet it brought me so much joy at the time. We met through social media.
We did. Yeah.
I had so much fun. Like Instagram was my playground for so long. And then it wasn't. And in hindsight, I recently talked to somebody who's also a 4/6 who also got off social media like at the end of last year. And she said that she actually planned it out for 6 weeks. I am not like that. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break from social media. I was like, I'm off for 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm coming back.
Right.
At the end of a week, I knew I wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
And I went on super briefly, like my assistant holding my hand to go type in on my Facebook business page and my Facebook page and my Instagram bio, I'm not here. You can email me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing in this space. Still, people even commented on that post. I didn't read the comments, but like
I wasn't there to read them,
I'm not here. Like I'm really, really not here. My own mother doesn't understand. She's like, did you see the, like, no, I'm really, truly not there.
Yeah.
I still have accounts. So based on my human design, I can just quit something.
Yeah.
I do not need to create what I call barbed wire boundaries or safety lanes. So for some people, if they want to like spend less time on their phone, it's easiest for them to lock their phone up. Maybe they put the phone in their trunk of their car.
Yeah.
And especially in winter. And so they'd have to go out in the cold and put on shoes to go get their phone, or they give it to their partner to hide it from them. Yeah. For me, that would actually, and for you too, that would actually like be a distraction, because I'd be constantly thinking like, especially if I asked my husband to hide it, I'd be like, where is it? And like, oh, that's weird. Whereas if I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't want to look at it. Okay. Yeah. Like that just doesn't take any extra energy for me.
Yeah.
So when I do hear about things on social media, it's hilarious to me now, because what I was feeling actually when I got off was like, this isn't real life, you guys. Like, let's stop using social media as though it's real life.
Right.
And it's like, I can't think of a good analogy. The only thing I'm coming up with right now is I don't eat animal products. And so it's like as foreign to me as eating animal products.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to touch that?
And it's only gotten more bananas as all of this has taken place, because, there's, in a process of ascension, you have two options. You can cling to what you know and cling to the structures and the systems that you're comfortable with, that you're familiar with, or you really wake up to the truth for you and you walk a different path. You walk that path. And there is like this, it takes courage. It takes real courage to step away and say, I'm not going to participate in something that everyone's participating in. I'm not going to give energy to that conversation or fall in line with that because it makes other people more comfortable, and therefore I feel safer because I don't have people coming after me with pitchforks, and yet I'm betraying myself by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like witch trial,
I think that's
a lot of witch trial stories like really resurfacing during this time.
And we probably were both there. I think it's really interesting what you just said about like the things we do to make other people more comfortable.
Yeah.
Where we totally deny our own truth and dull our own sparkle just because we're trying to make other people comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm very much over that.
You are. And that's what I love and admire about you, because again, there's a false sense of safety there. But by doing that, you're never living authentically. Like you're people that you're pretending to be or trying to make comfortable, they don't actually know you.
Yeah. Okay. So every single one of us is totally unique.
Yes,
We were given all these unique gifts. You have unique gifts. I have unique gifts. We have some overlap, but then they're like in totally different patterns. So they're completely different.
Different expressions of how we
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are each here to own and share our gifts.
Yeah.
When we own and share our gifts, we fit together like puzzle pieces and we rise. And that is why we're here. So my job in this world is to be my best self. It's to own and share every single one of my gifts. It is to be as sparkly as possible.
Yeah.
And so that means taking care of my sparkle like it's a puppy. So it needs nourishment, it needs exercise, it needs boundaries.
Yeah.
This is just what it needs to thrive. And so that is like, I am here to raise the world. And every one of us is.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to do it, by being my best me. Like it is selfish and like a total waste of time for me to do something that doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
Because then I can't serve the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
The way that the world deserves to be served.
Yeah. You know what? I just realized as you were talking, I'm like, oh, I pulled a card for us about this today. I was like, what are we going to talk about? And it's from the daily guidance from your angels deck, but it's life purpose. And it says, the purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus upon serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you.
I love that so much. Your card pulls are always.
They do a good job. They do a good job.
They do such a good job. I heard a quote recently that I've been sharing with a lot of people because I'm really excited about it. It's, are you trying to be God or are you trying to serve God? So are you, like, am I talking to you right now because I want everyone to look at me and be like, oh my God, she's so smart? No.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, one, because I love talking to you, and two, because I want to serve other people. I want the things that come out of my mouth hole to like maybe inspire someone or make somebody think about something differently, to start recognizing that their job in this world is also to take care of their sparkle like it's a puppy, and to amplify it, to lead us, and so we can all create ripples of light around the planet, because this planet and all the beings on it need our help.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's one of your like golden magical fairy wand gifts, is that you've done this for me so many times, and I've watched you do it for clients or in guest teaching calls when you've come in to our DFM community, is when people are sharing something of like, this is how it is, or this is what, and you're just like, why? Not in a, I mean, it's a confronting question, but the way that you bring it is like, why? And then it's like, oh yeah, why do I need to hold that anymore? Why am I giving that energy anymore? Like, why am I making that mean something when it doesn't? And you do a really good job of giving people permission to look at things a different way, in a way that's like safe. You know, it's not forceful. It's hey, let's just play and be curious and just see what comes up. And I think that that's just through your own energy of play and through the safety and love that you embody, you create that space that allows people to begin to look at things differently. Because some people, you know, they need to be confronted like head on, and some people need like a, you know, a softer, more like opening approach. So
Mm-hmm. And I do deliver the occasional unicorn pitch slap.
yeah.
When people are not, when they're just like outright ignoring their sparkle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's necessary sometimes.
It is.
So I would love for those that don't know about human design, which I think most, well, I'm not going to assume. I don't know who's going to watch this video. So for those that don't know about human design, can you just talk a little bit about that? And then I'd love for you to share kind of the highest expression of each design, like when they're living in their fullest sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can know what that is, especially, you know, in this ascension process, we kind of have like a vision or an embodiment that we can kind of lean into as like a guide.
Yeah. So this isn't about human design. This is actually what I've always seen. And I don't know if I can put words to it, but I mentioned my penetrating energy, and I see people and I see their souls.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like not together at all. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like with you, you're one.
Yeah.
But sometimes I see like, the total lack of alignment.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's called the human design experiment, because we experiment, we keep trying things on. Who said it took 7 years to complete the first part of the experiment. But by experimenting with our design, we merge our soul and our human so that we are in total alignment. So what is human design? It's a weird term, human design. I just want to get that out there. I'm aware of that. It sounds weird. It's not a cult. It's not, I don't know what else people think it is, but here's what it is. Your little baby soul got called to Earth School. And before it came to Earth School, it decided who you're going to be and what you're going to do. In other words, how you're going to change the world. And so it set you up, created this whole blueprint so that you are absolutely positively ready to do what you're here to do and be who you're here to be. Gave you every single tool in the form of a bunch of golden nuggets. And then it shows the exact time and place and date that you'll enter Earth School. You come into Earth School, and on day 1, you know it all. You remember exactly who you are. And on day 2, you start forgetting. I call it the great forgetting. And then some day later, you read your human design blueprint, and then you start remembering. What I help people do is remember who they are and why they're here.
Yes.
So human design has a whole bunch of levels. There's the energy type, the profiles, the centers, the gates, the channels, the nodes, all sorts of stuff, and all the variables. Yes, you can go way down the rabbit hole, and you might think you're all the way down, and it's deeper. It's a really deep rabbit hole. It goes all the way to the center of the earth. It's a big bunny. Okay. So let's just like do a quick overview of the 5 energy types. And as I said, human design people get confused and think, oh, I took the human design test. There's no test. It's just like astrology. It's based on the day and time and place you were born. And the place is actually just to get the time zone correct. So don't freak out if you were born in a teeny tiny town and the system can't handle that. The time we do want to be as exact. And ideally you find that on your birth certificate. If it's not on your birth certificate, it might be in like the vital records of the town where you were born.
Yeah.
Otherwise, hopefully your mom knows it or wrote it down in a baby book or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are common questions I get. We do want to get the exact time because things change because all the planets moving. All right. So let's start with there's projectors, manifestors, reflectors, generators, and manifesting generators. Meg is a projector, so let's start with projectors. Projectors are, well, no energy type is like another energy type, but projectors are different. Projectors are here to guide us.
Yeah.
Exhibit A. And they take things typically that are already existing and make them more accessible, more efficient, just better. They make it so it can reach more people.
Yeah.
I feel like you do that with
Divine Feminine Mastery.
yes,
Yeah.
and empathy or being an empath, and with angelic guidance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in teaching people how to listen to their intuition.
Yeah.
You cover a lot.
I have a lot of systems.
Yeah. And that's just now. There's more emerging.
I know.
Okay. So projectors are like a bird on a branch of a tree, while the rest of us are scurrying around on the forest floor. Projectors can see everything. So they're up there in that tree looking down, watching everybody.
Yeah.
Now imagine there's a squirrel on that forest floor running around. He hit his nut somewhere and he doesn't remember where he hit him. So he's running around. So the projector watches the squirrel and is like, yo, squirrel, your nuts are over there. And the squirrel looks up and is like, who are you? And why don't you mind your own business? Or the squirrel is running around and he looks up and sees this projector up there and is like, hey, projector, you can see a lot from up there, huh? Projector's like, yes, I can. Do you happen to know where my nuts are? And the projector's like, yes, your nuts are right over here. And he's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, projector. You are so helpful. So the difference in those two situations is that the second one, the squirrel invited the projector to share her wisdom.
Yeah.
In the first one, the squirrel didn't invite the projector. So the squirrel wasn't pleased to receive the information, felt attacked, felt like he was given unsolicited advice. Meanwhile, the projector is like, screw you for not taking my advice. And so the projector feels bitter as a result.
Yeah.
Now, what traditional human design will tell projectors that they need to wait for the invitation. And that leads a lot of projectors to want to feel like they can't do anything and they're going to like sit on the couch. But really, projectors just need to create the invitation. And this, it just goes for when you're guiding somebody.
Yeah.
As a projector, if you want to make dinner. If you want to create a course, do the painting, do your thing. As soon as you want to guide somebody else, imagine it's like as soon as you want to provide unsolicited advice, and I think this is true for all humans, as soon as you want to provide unsolicited advice, make sure the recipient has space for your wisdom to land.
Yeah.
So create an invitation, which can be as simple as, can I share an observation? And then the person will either say yes or no.
Yeah.
Boom, there's your invitation.
I love that. Well, and I've seen that too, because there is this desire to help as many people as I can. But I also recognize that it's a far smaller group of people that like really accept my invitation. And I used to struggle with that, like I'm not doing enough or I'm not reaching enough. And now I'm recognizing like, no, I just need to show up and teach and share and play, and whoever wants it is going to show up to the space, and whoever doesn't or isn't ready for it, like they can show up to another space, and I'm still doing my work. I think that was like a big healing moment for me. It's like, I'm still doing my work, and not to get caught up in the illusion of what that looks like. And kind of this, especially in the like social media space or in the entrepreneurial space, and in this like very masculine energy that the world is shifting away from to create more balance. It's not like we're going to the other end of the spectrum, but we've got to like tip the scales a little bit more. Is everything is measured in monetary value, in amounts, in, this like linear diagonal line. And so it can feel sometimes as a projector that the things that you're doing or the things that you're offering, because you don't operate in that way, it's like you're not doing enough, or you're not being enough, or you're not creating enough impact, when like the impact that you're making is very deep. But as
Yeah, remember
yeah,
there's always, for anyone who's ever worked in an office, I'm assuming this experience wasn't unique to me. There was one girl when I worked for the federal government, she was always working.
yeah,
And she had like the same workload as I did. And I had like 3 hours of work, and then I'd be bored and looking for other things to do. And I was like, how is she always working? So projectors, you guys, just because you're only working like a couple hours a day or whatever it is, that's perfect. You are just as powerful as the person who's scurrying around on the forest floor. You can just sit there on your branch and
right,
watch it all.
right. But that, again, that's part of this like deconditioning process, you know,
Yeah.
of like your like release the expectation that you have to live the way that all these other people are living, and just do you.
Yes.
And the courage to do that as well.
Yeah. A bird doesn't need the same things that a squirrel needs,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. The projector, so when a projector is her highest self, she sees herself.
I love that.
And in seeing herself, she becomes, I think of it like a lighthouse. She lights up like a lighthouse. But again, imagine the bird. That squirrel doesn't notice the projector until that projector owns who she is, sees herself and owns herself.
Yeah.
And then the projector looks up. Before that, the projector is seeing it all, but doesn't necessarily see herself. So the squirrel doesn't even notice that the projector's up there.
Right.
And then when that projector gives advice, it's like a threat.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because it's like the things that come so natural to us are the very gifts we need to give ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's very easy for me to see the magic and beauty in every single person. But as you reminded me many years ago, that's my job to do for myself.
Yeah.
And it is nuanced, and it's like it's definitely a different muscle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else
Well,
is
because it's, to take the athletic example, it's like this is a bicep curl. This would be like a tricep extension. The
right.
two sides of your arm, they require different muscles. So you might have really strong biceps,
Yeah.
but you really weak triceps.
Yeah. Yeah. But it gives us something it gives us something to celebrate in terms of our strength, and it also gives us something that we get to develop and play with and experiment with.
Yeah.
So
This
I
is
love
all play. This
yeah.
is all play. And when you, as a projector, when you're out of alignment, you're going to feel bitter.
Yeah.
So that bird that told the squirrel where his nuts were before the squirrel asked, then that bird feels bitter.
Yeah.
And hey, that's your red flag. You're out of alignment.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, even though the squirrel can't see you, so you're not seeing yourself fully yet, but maybe say, hey, squirrel, I can see things from up here. Would you like my help? And
Yes.
then the squirrel responds yes or no.
I love
You're
that.
creating an invitation for you.
Beautiful reframe of that.
Mhm.
That's great. So other
All
types.
right. So let's go to reflectors. Reflectors feel and amplify all of the energy around them. So reflectors, I think that the oracles that we read about in like the Odyssey,
Yeah.
I think they were most likely reflectors.
Yeah.
They are, I call them disco balls of awesomeness. If you want to feel really good about yourself, go hang out with a reflector. They're going to amplify your wisdom. So you're going to come away from that conversation being like, oh my God, we were so in tune. And yet she told me all these things that were just like so brilliant. It's brilliant because they're your own ideas.
Right. Right.
So reflectors need to be really hyper aware of their environments. That's physical environment. That's the people around you. All of that energy, you're taking it all in.
Yeah.
And you gotta clean it out, empty yourself out. If you want to know what you think, you got to be by yourself. You got to be in an environment that supports you. You as a reflector, you guys are here to just amplify and reflect the wisdom of the tribe.
Yeah.
They're the ones that we want to look out for. When a reflector gets sick, we get worried
Yeah.
because that's them picking up the energy from around them.
Right. They're kind of like walking crystal balls in a way, like
Yeah.
showing us.
And because of that, every reflector is very different. People get the idea that projectors and reflectors can't be athletes. And that's very much not true. I know a reflector who's an Olympian.
Yeah.
I know projectors who have beaten me in races.
Yeah.
I like anybody can do anything.
Right.
Please don't. And please, when you're learning about human design, if you hear anything that makes you feel like you can't do something, like you're trapped and stuck, please don't go that way.
Yeah.
Please, like if it's something you hear out of me, please ask me
Yeah.
because I want to clarify it for you, because human design is designed to lift us up, to give us permission to be who we know we are.
Right.
It should amplify your light. It should not make you feel trapped.
Right.
So if it makes you feel trapped, that teacher is not for you. Go find someone else. And if it's me, just ask me questions because I'll clarify it all for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's really important because we can get really, I think we're very label obsessed or very, like we put things in boxes. And the very nature of human design is like, you're not in a box, but you have a unique way of working and you can apply that to anything that brings you real joy and is like aligned with that deeper soul purpose. You just might have to, the way in which you go about it is going to look a little bit different than someone else in another type, design, strategy, authority, all that.
Yeah, exactly. And reflectors, when they're in alignment and their highest self, they're surprised.
I love that.
I love it so much. And I was really jealous at first that that's how they feel. But it's because reflectors are, every moment is brand new for a reflector. It is for all of us, but a reflector can really, truly feel it because their environment changes.
Yeah.
And so when they release any desire for labeling and they just recognize that they're everybody and nobody,
Yeah.
that's when they can be totally surprised.
That's beautiful. And an important part of, what we're here to experience, it's like once you label something and you know it, you have judgments about it, you have expectations about it. So you can never really know it again until you let that go.
Yeah. I mean, that's beginner's mind. And it's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
Just to be present and be curious. I think like every morning, I ask that I experience wonder and awe and magic and miracles. And wonder and awe for me is beginner's mind.
Yeah.
Like, I keep doing things I don't know what I'm doing and learn along the way.
That's awesome. I love that intention. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So the other types.
So manifestors are really powerful and they're here to do what they want to do. Manifestors, go ahead and initiate. You're here to start energetic movements. And like I said, you're really powerful. So some people are going to want to follow you and some people aren't.
Yeah.
And that is okay. Trust that the people who are meant to follow you are going to follow you.
Yeah.
And manifestors, it's nice to tell people where you're going. Manifestors have a tendency to just walk away. So like just tell your friends where you're going. They just want to know. People just want to know what the manifestor's doing, what you're up to, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what intuitive hits you're getting. We just want to know. We're curious about manifestors. So tell us. And when manifestors are their highest selves, I mean, geez, they're the magic wand. Just whatever happens, they can create anything they want.
That's amazing.
And when they're out of alignment, they're going to feel angry. And they're going to feel angry because they're likely feeling like they're in a box, like they're trapped.
Yeah.
Manifestors are not meant for boxes. They are not meant to be trapped. They're meant to initiate. They're here to start everything.
Very important. And you can see with each of
Manifestors.
these, yeah, you can see with each of these, just like,
Manifestors are here to like, how, what?
oh, did we do a delay? I was
Yeah.
going to say, it just shows like with all three of these, and you haven't even gotten to the others yet, of how unique and perfect and full circle we all represent that bigger puzzle piece, and how every
Yes.
aspect has extreme value.
Yeah. And that actually gets into manifestors. You guys are here to own your power. And by owning your power, by being big, by taking up space, by being what some people maybe told you was too much,
Yeah.
then you inspire the rest of us to do the same.
Yeah.
So we need you to own your power, be big and bold, be brave enough to be your full self so that we can look at you and be like, she did it. I can do it too.
Yeah.
We can borrow your bravery and we can be inspired by you.
I love that.
Generators. Generators are here to follow their desires.
Yeah.
So the universe is constantly going to show generators things like, you know, a new taste, a new smell, a color, a song, an idea, a person. And the generator's job is to respond to those things. To be like, yes, more of that. No, I'm not really into that.
Yeah.
And for generators, when something comes into your aura and it is a holy hell yes, it is your, like, you owe it to the universe to follow that thing. Follow the holy hell yeses. And when you do, you create more energy. Your energy just becomes super sparkly and juicy and magnetic and irresistible. And we can't get enough of you.
Yeah.
Anything that is not a holy hell yes, it's got to go.
Yeah.
Anything that is not a holy hell yes. Anything and everything. If it's not a holy hell yes, just let it go.
Well, and that just gives it a lot of clarity around, you know, you're not, when you're responding to things, the more attuned you become to that, like, heck yes, or like you, and you trust that and you allow that, you don't have to do so much figuring out. Like that's that language I'm trying to like really remove from my own life, but also like help my clients figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that comes from an energy of distrust. And it's like, if you just listen to what the body says, the body's very clear.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like a scavenger hunt. Like the universe is just going to keep showing you things and your job is to follow. Like just follow the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Listen and follow.
I love
Which
it.
takes a whole lot of bravery.
And then when they're living their fullest expression, what do they experience?
Their natural state is, I'm so excited.
I love it.
And when they're out of alignment, they're going to feel frustrated.
Yeah. Okay.
And then finally, manifesting generators are hybrids of manifestors and generators. And yeah, that's me. So everything I said about manifestors and everything I said about generators pretty much pertains to manifesting generators. Yeah. Manifesting generators, I'm going to call us MGs from now on because that manifesting generators too long for my mouth. We're here to follow the joy. We are here to play. We are here to carve brand new paths. No one has done it our way before. And actually, we're here to do what other people think is impossible and to do it with so much joy. We do not fit in any boxes and labels will not stick on us. Yeah. We break all the molds. We bounce a ton, meaning we like pivot all the time. We also flow quickly and that can trigger other people. MGs are the ones who commonly get stuck by doing things to make other people comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And totally smother their own sparkle for that. Doing that. Like they'll work in a cubicle job because, okay, that's what everybody wants me to do when they're really supposed to be creating sidewalk art or like whatever lights them up. Like generators, MGs need to follow what lights them up. They will feel in their body a holy hell yes.
Yeah.
And if that's what you feel, go that way. If it's not a holy hell yes, it's a no, and it's got to go.
Yeah. Well, and with all of these, it really is trusting, it's trusting that the universe is, as you said, going to deliver everything on your path and your job is just to follow that strategy. So if I trust that my body's saying no to this, and I really trust that, then that means that I let go of this opportunity that on paper might seem really great, but my body's having a response. And I trust it because I know the universe is going to deliver something even better. Same with the projector. I trust that if I wait for the invitation, or I create an invitation by being in what I love and teaching and sharing, and that the universe is going to provide the opportunities, the people, the spaces for me to do the work that I'm here to do. So it all requires a higher level of trust.
Yes. Massive trust school, which I think is a never ending Earth School class.
Yes.
And also there's like an element of stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
And by stay in your own lane, I mean, just like keep creating what you want to create, like keep doing what drives you, like listen to what drives you, listen to your sacral yes if you're a generator or manifesting generator, do what inspires you, and then trust.
Yeah.
Like a mofo.
Yeah. And you've seen that in your own life when you've said yes to things that were really a no, and what that felt like, and what that experience was, and then what it felt like to follow those holy yeses and the experience of energy. So manifesting generator in their highest expression, what did they
We're also so excited.
So I love it. Yeah.
Which will, I mean, I said that to you today.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So talking to Meg lights me up. It's a holy hell yes. And I say, I'm so excited. And
every time I'm with you, I always feel like my mouth, like my cheeks, my face stretches farther than it has before, because like I can feel your joy, and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Following the joy, people say, like, can I really do that? Yes, we need you to do that.
So this is really actually a really important conversation, I think, because then you get into the yeah buts, right? Yeah, but I have to pay my bills. Yeah, but I have people depending on me. Yeah, but da 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 da. So with your infinite wisdom, what would you offer to the yeah buts in response? I mean, of course, if they're different types, it would be different, but like.
Yeah. So the first thing to know is that when you are following what lights you up, when you are staying in your own lane, when you are following your inspiration, whatever it is, when you're following your urge, then that is you owning and sharing your gifts.
Yeah.
It is you doing your thing. And it's when you're in that space, that's not a selfish place. That's actually the place where you're going to just amplify your light, where you're going to spend ripples of light around the planet. That is it. It's not by sacrificing yourself.
Yeah.
And that urge to sacrifice, well, is the word sacrifice actually is like specifically for generators typically, and MGs can have it a little bit, but then all the other types, like manifestors, really have a tendency towards people pleasing. And guess what? Every type is a human.
Yeah.
And humans have a tendency towards people pleasing. MGs don't want to make people uncomfortable because we know our very existence makes people uncomfortable.
Right.
So when you know that just by existing, you seem to trigger people, you start to hide it because you just want to feel like you fit in. You want other people to be happy. We all want other people to be happy. Right. And so know that the way you can make people happiest is by doing you.
Right.
It's a total mind shift in what we've learned.
Absolutely. Well, we've always been taught to orient ourselves to other people and other people's responses. And especially if you've been, I'd love to talk to you about this. If you're very empathic or very sensitive and in tune, you can do that on a whole other scale where you actually conform in such a way because you can feel other people's feelings towards you, or you can take responsibility for those feelings, and take ownership of them as like, oh, it must be my fault that they're experiencing this or feeling this way. So we can really, you know, carve ourselves out to be these humans we think other people will love and find valuable, except for the fact that the conditions always change. And you can, the whole point is like, it's, you're here to be valuable for yourself and to own your value and to own that you are always worthy and always loved. But as an empath, so this is something I actually wanted to ask you, because I think there are all types that can be empaths. I know that in my own work. What, obviously being a projector, you are, you know, it's your gift of penetrating that aura and being able to receive information. There are also like open centers. And so like, what are the empathic markers that you could look for?
So traditionally, empaths are people who feel other people's emotions.
Yes.
But that's not either of us. We both have defined emotional centers.
Right.
So we feel like until I learned this in human design, I thought I was feeling other people's emotions. It turns out I'm feeling other people's mental energy.
Yes. That I totally resonate with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your open centers, which if you're looking at your human design chart, which you can get on my site, you can get a free chart, and the actual real human, it's me who sends you your chart. So I also send you a little golden nugget. When you're looking at your chart, you will see a whole bunch of different shapes, and the shapes are different colors. They're either white or they're a color, and the color doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
If it's white, that means that center is open.
Mm-hmm.
And in an open center, you feel and amplify other people's energy.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the center is.
Yeah.
But so like if you have an open spleen, you're going to feel and amplify other people's fear.
Yeah.
My mom did this to me yesterday. And and it was the first time I've seen this. She's triggered me my whole life because she's amplified my fear. Like something that I'm a teeny tiny bit worried about, it becomes like a really big deal for her.
Mm-hmm.
And now I understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So yesterday she was feeling and amplifying somebody else's fear and tried to like throw it at me. And I'm like, no. This isn't mine. It's not even yours. This is just disgusting. Like you're like handing a bag of poop that's not even yours to me. No.
Right.
So yeah. So there are so many different, depending on your open centers and how many open centers you have, that impacts how you're going to feel other people's energy.
So, and reflectors have all open. Their whole chart is open. So that's why they're able to.
So reflectors are feeling everybody's energy everywhere.
Yeah.
And because they have 9 open centers, that energy it's like spread out. It's diluted a little bit. And it's all broken up into 1/9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas you and I have more defined centers.
Right.
And therefore fewer open centers. And so like I only have 2 open centers, my Ajna and crown.
Right.
And that means that I'm feeling a lot. It means that I hear other people's thoughts, which is sometimes funny, sometimes annoying, useful in coaching.
Right.
Very weird.
It is. And developing the skill set of just being a witness to that may like fascinating, and not taking ownership of or, needing to fix that or change that. Just like,
it's fascinating. I still don't know what's behind. When I meditate, sometimes it's as though I'm hearing somebody else's conversation. I don't know. It reminds me of when we lived in North Carolina, we had weird phone lines and sometimes and this is landline,
Yeah.
sometimes you'd pick up the phone and like hear a different conversation and you'd be like, oh, sorry. And then you'd be like, wait a second. No, this is just like the lines are crossed
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels. It's like stuff that I have no energy around. Sometimes it's like so and so has a baseball game. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know who's talking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and so with the open centers, then your job is just to be a witness to it, but not to what do we do with the open centers?
Yeah. So the gift in it is that you're like a mirror. So just like reflectors are giant mirrors or disco balls, we are mirrors in all of our open centers. So for instance, I can feel other people's thoughts, so I can reflect them back to them.
Yeah.
That's really helpful in coaching. But if I go in there alone, there being my ajna, my mind center,
Yeah.
I'm just going to suffer because I'm trying to like know something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be certain about something. I'm trying to figure something out. Things. So the natural state of my open ajna is like a wide open Montana sky. It is quiet, it is peaceful, it is expansive. And sometimes things come in there and they swirl around like a tornado. Like it's
Yeah.
like somebody else's belief. And people with defined ajnas have a trash can because their defined ajna is like a library with this whole filing system.
Yeah.
And, you know, every library has a trash can. So when I talk to someone with a defined ajna, I'll be like, can you throw this away for me? Like, it
Yeah.
just can't. I think it's a no. Because for you guys with your defined ajna, you're just like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of know that, but it's swirling, swirling, swirling. And it will swirl until if it's true, it will fall into my body.
I
And if it's
remember
not
talking
true,
about this. Yeah.
I need to like clear it out. Yeah.
So with the
So wisdom
crown,
falls into my body.
yeah. So with the like
What was
open
that?
crown, you and I both have the open crown. Um,
Yeah.
so that's taking in just the energy of the collective. Or
Yep.
okay.
The energy that collected, it means we get inspiration from outside ourselves. And
Yes.
we're always kind of seeking inspiration.
Yeah.
And it's also mental pressure. We feel and amplify mental pressure.
Totally.
And that's something with like social media, all the like, you should do this. Everyone needs to do this. If you're not doing this right now, you're a horrible person.
There's so many times I've swirled and I'm like, but wait, then I have to do that. But then wait, but then wait, but then wait, but then wait. And I'm just like, this is too much. And then I find myself, as you said, when I'm up there, I lose my center of gravity. I lose my connection to my knowing. And so
Mhm.
the practice for me has always been to come back into my body, because if I'm trying to figure out anything in my mind, I'm never gonna piece together there.
Always. Our wisdom lives in our bodies. Our
Yes.
intuition lives there. Our knowing lives there. That is where we make decisions. We are here to live in our bodies. And somewhere along the lines, we got these ideas that we're supposed to live in our heads.
Yeah.
Our heads are A, for decoration, B, for like processing things. Like your ajna, if you've got a defined ajna, you're here to hone your opinions, hone your perspective. And if you've got a defined crown, you can inspire yourself.
Yeah.
But that's not where you make decisions.
Right.
No. You make your decisions from your gut,
Yeah.
from your spleen, from your intuition, from your emotions,
Yeah.
from your knowledge of who you are, from your motivation and what drives you.
Yeah.
That's the wisdom that lives in us. And that's what we're here to trust. Let
Well,
your
yeah.
face be pretty. Like there's nothing, just like
It's so true though. It really is. And I just you said it so beautifully. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to chat about? Share? We could do this all day, but I want to honor your time and Just
I
thank
don't
you for
know.
all
I
of
can't
this.
think of anything.
Yeah, this has been
I just love
really well, it's like I love talking to you about human design because I think there's, so everybody has a unique perspective of how they share it. And every time you talk about human design for me, it's like a coming home. It's a landing
thank
pad.
you.
It's like where all this stuff like lands for me. So I just really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Yeah, of course. So we've got to add some links to the description. Your amazing podcast.
Thank you.
For people to get their human design chart. You do human design readings, which I highly recommend. Mike and I did one with you, and it was like, I feel like every couple, family members, like boss, colleagues, like we all should be learning this. Not should be, if it calls to you, but why I love human design is it helps me understand people better, helps me to understand their gifts, like who they are, how they express those gifts, so that I am not coming to them with expectations of how I need them to be, but I can really show up in relationship with them, honoring their highest expression and encouraging that.
Yes, that was so well said.
Thank you.
Yes.
But that was such a great session for us because we're both projectors, but again, different. Lots of different needs. Like I have different needs than he does. I have different ways of expressing things than he does. And so it gave us kind of a context of, oh, that's not annoying now because I get it.
Exactly.
Get it. And also, wow, I can really acknowledge and celebrate that about you.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete, my husband, has his like primary gift is spotting and explaining the facts. So sometimes it's just like, oh, like we go for a walk and it's almost like walking with a 4-year-old who's like, there's a bird up there. The leaves are yellow. Like it's just he's spotting and explaining everything. And now I just smile and laugh and love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure there was an earlier version of me that was like, really? You're gonna just narrate everything?
But what it does, I think, is that it allows us to open more to each other and to the magic of who we are, and to appreciate that. So that
puzzle pieces fit together.
Yeah. So you do human design readings. You also do one-to-one coaching to really like align people very intentionally and intuitively to what they're here to do, remembering who they are, how they're here to serve the world and change the world. Anything else?
I have a new YouTube channel. I don't even know if I told you that.
You do?
I do.
Well, hot damn, I want to know about it.
Yeah, it's just short videos of me talking about all the tools for your awakening, alignment, and ascension.
Oh, well, we'll put that in the link too. Thank you. It's very exciting. I always love Kelsey Time, so I'll be binge watching that. Last question for you. As you step off this planet, not that you're doing that anytime soon, what would your soul want to offer the collective?
Light. Light and joy.
Beautiful.
I want everyone to remember that they are light and that joy is their natural state. And when they remember who they are, that's what they're going to find. They're going to find that their soul is light, their body is wisdom, and that they are here to change the world.
Amen.
I really want everyone to be who they're supposed to be. And change the world in their own unique way. We need everybody.
It is true. we really do. And just thank you for being such a beautiful guide in the collective space. you know, you're just someone who's so truly heart-centered, and I mean, you can feel that in this conversation and in the words that you speak, but you really are here to, from that place of service, like, and to just help and support and uplift people. And you do that by being you, which is the whole point. And so thank you for mirroring that, and thank you for doing that, you know, and really celebrating and acknowledging everyone's uniqueness.
Thank you so much.
Also, just last thing to note, that we have, for the first time, I think, ever, we had a little glitch, but I know, but we're actually stopping the recording. So but like, we have maintained contact on Zoom without our energy exploding it. So I just love that, and I wanted to celebrate that.
I think Zoom up leveled. It can handle us now.
Yeah. We used to crash all Zoom platforms, but now, you know, it's just setting the vibe.
That's finally caught up with us.
I love it. And I love you. Thank you for just being such a dear friend in my life, and a teacher, and a woman I really admire and respect.
Thank you so much for everything. Like, Meg, you're I almost called you light, because I was just thinking your light just is so ginormous, and I see you like shining a spotlight all over the place, just spreading your light, and it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
You leave a trail of twinkle lights everywhere you go.
I will take that with me as a reminder, and thank you. Thank you for that gift.
You're welcome.
All right. So if you want to work with this amazing human, which I highly recommend, I will have all that info below. Kelsey, you're a goddess. I love you. And till next time, till our next conversation.
Yes, which will be sooner than this most recent gap.
Year. Yeah. Well, I feel like we'll have a lot to comment on, talk about, play with. 2021 will give us a lot of content to cover. So.
Yes, it will.
Well, everyone, have a beautiful evening, morning, whenever you're tuning into this, and thank you for joining us. Bye.